Thank you, Freak. However, not a whole lot of breaking down needs to be done to kind of figure out where the turning point and where how the chips fell during this game. I mean, very early on, we watched the largest gold lead in this current split, come to be, within the first 10 minutes.
There was 7,000 gold lead at 13 minutes. That kind of shows you, especially in an age where Dragon no longer gives gold, that's a lot of gold.
We keep talking about how hard it is to get giant gold leads early, and this is the biggest one that we've seen.
Well, yeah, we've pointed that out a lot, and the last two games have been two of the the largest gold leads early in the game, and that points to though where it can be extraordinarily punishing for teams like Team 8 who do struggle already in the early game, and you finally do and you give up that big of a lead where. Normally, it's not that easy to do so. In the sense that let me rephrase. So in the sense that Team 8, right? They've admitted they're not very strong in the early game, but we have also said on the flip side that it's not very easy to get a large gold advantage in the early game. So normally, Team 8 is extended the opportunity to move into the late game and take advantage of their great team play and their shot calling. They didn't do it here. They made a big mistake.
Yeah, basically, it comes down to too many really big mistakes. And actually, we have a replay of the big dive that happened down bottom.
Because they had a lead in the bottom lane, which kind of explains why they were being aggressive, but this was dumb.
So, they mentioned that they saw Jarvan coming down here. Now, the thing is, both of them walk up to check this. I mean, okay, you try and go through the psychology of the players. Just the checking of that. Yeah. Both Thresh and Draven walk towards the bush. Now, either Draven or Thresh walking towards the bush and keeping an eye on Leona's positioning while they're approaching this bush would tell a lot if they're there. I mean, we're just going to watch the massacre here, but
that's pretty much all it is.
Basically, the only point that you need to go over is the very beginning point where they're approaching this bush. Now, if you're approaching They saw Jarvan go down that bottom side. They're like, he's probably in here.
So you can be Draven and I can be Thresh.
All right.
If I stay back in the lane and Jarvan jumps you.
Can you throw me a lantern? This is probably dangerous.
I like that lantern.
Or you keep your eyes on Leona's positioning. Whenever you think there's a jungler there, you're like, okay, they would probably try and collapse to.
The pen back.
You want your lantern back?
Yeah.
If you keep your eyes on the Leona and she's moving up, then you know that there's a jungler in that bush, and they're gonna come at you with the CC. So they either need to spread out, or they need to only have Thresh throw his lantern at the bush. But I don't know. But that was basically the worst possible way for them to go about checking it.
Early misplays, early by Team 8, put them in a giant deficit. I want to go to the other side of the rift and look at Team Liquid, because they started out 2-0, went 0-2, then had a 1-1 week where their loss came against Dignitas, and that was a pretty crushing loss for them. But now they come out with a destruction, just an utter destruction of Team 8 here in this week. And, Freak kind of touched on it in the interview. Is that indicative of, the rift being bridged within the team?
All their problems are fixed if they go 2-0 this week. No, definitely not. I'd say it's a small step in the right direction, but this was, you hate to call a game easy, but this was one of the easier games they've had. Phoenix was on a strong champion that he was on Ahri. He's good at Ahri. He's played it before, and now it's buffed. They were on good champions, and they had a solid game. No way the rift is sealed, though.
Yeah, I mean, a win like this definitely will make you happy, like in the short term. It's like, I don't know, they ate a bunch of candy or something, they get the sugar high, but it's not gonna solve any of the latent issues that they've had when they're back at the team house. They're still gonna have to work through those. And I think that it is good to have everybody in a good mood when you go back to the house and they want to try and work through those.
Absolutely.
So it's not a bad thing.
Does that mean you think they're gonna crash? I mean, if we're going to follow
bring them back down
there you
to
go.
earth.
If we're going to follow that analogy all the way through, Kobe, then that means they're due for a sugar crash here soon. Things are going to fall apart again.
Well, we'll see, because I think that they definitely will have a harder time against Gravity. But they did a good job this time. Not only did they get that early lead, they capitalized on it really well. They used this Ahri matchup that you talked about in the mid lane, punish the mid lane super hard, and turn that into jungle pressure, which is exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
You get the winning mid lane, and then you just take all of their blue buffs, and they
Yeah, it's not like we haven't seen teams come back from a 3-0 deficit early in the game. And so that has to point to Team Liquid playing it out correctly from there.
And we know they can do it, even when they had Keith as AD carry. Their first 2 games, like that's one of the reasons Week 1 power rankings, 2-0 Team Liquid, they're the best team in North America is what people were saying after Week 1, is because when they have leads, they have shown good dragon control, good rotations, good dives, and they kind of did the same here.
Yeah, almost overly cautious. Took a very long time collecting everything. They do know everything that you can collect to win a game, though.
They got all the jungle camps, all the lane farm, all the turrets, all the dragons, 2 barons. My goodness. Well, some of the pros are getting into the Valentine's Day spirit. Following Winter Fox's win earlier, Pobelter tweeted, "Roses are red, violets are blue. We won, boys." Yeah,
we did it.
You did it. I mean, that's a nice Valentine's Day present to yourself, I guess.
Victory.
Victory.
The rift.
Yeah. Well, again, for Team Liquid, things are looking on the up and up. After that victory, it will be a compelling match to watch tomorrow against Gravity. Definitely a tougher one for them. Now, we are going to step away, but meet back here in 3.5 minutes for Gravity versus Team Solo Mid. Our coverage of the 2015 Spring Split continues after this.
We're on to our next match, Team 8 versus Team Liquid. Team 8 collapses nicely, but here comes Dominate. Cataclysm already up from that fight back down in the bottom lane. Whoa, special. He went in on the Zenith and actually got pulled in by Slushy. A little bit of a mistake there, but not something he wanted. Phoenix is going to be on the front line, is what has started a few of these fights now, and Team Liquid will get the engage they want this time. Oh man, Dodo gets popped there. The Solar Flare goes down. Burns out Dodo, and they're going to have what they need here. Team Liquid take down at Team 8 here in Week 4.